Hello, everyone. I'm Darren Rawlings for Emerging Civil War, and joining me today is Executive Director of Central Virginia Battlefields Trust, Terry Rensel. Welcome, Terry.
Thanks for having me, Darren. It's great to be here with you.
September the 12th to the 14th, 2025, you will be hosting your annual conference. So please tell us about this year's theme.
Well, thank you, Darren. This year's theme is the Battle of Spotsylvania Courthouse. And as you said, it's taking place September 12th through 14th. Chris Mikowski, Emerging Civil War's very own Chris Mikowski, is leading our tours this year. On Friday morning, the 12th, we're actually be doing a program, a static program in place at the Massaponax Baptist Church, where we will be inside the church. It'll be an opportunity to see the graffiti that was left on the walls of the church by members of the Army of the Potomac. And Chris will talk about how the armies moved off from Spotsylvania towards the North Anna and the role that the church played in that. That's where the Army of the Potomac stopped. There's a very famous picture of the leadership of the Army, Grant and Meade, and all the senior commanders sitting in church pews that they brought outside from the church to in the churchyard. And many of those pews are still being used by the church to this day. So that'll be a great opportunity. If you've never been inside the church and seen the graffiti, it's quite the sight to see. And you get to look out the window of where that picture was taken. Then on Saturday morning, Chris will be leading a tour, an all-day long tour of the battlefield. Stops will include Todd's Tavern, Spindle Field, the Sedgwick Monument, where follow Upton's assault, do the Bloody Angle, among other stops, and end the tour at Harris Farm, the last battle within the Spotsylvania campaign, and a piece of ground that the Central Virginia Battlefield Trust owns and has preserved. And it's got the monument to the 1st Massachusetts Heavy Artillery on it. A Saturday night at our annual meeting and gala banquet, our keynote speaker Saturday night will be historian and author Ken No. He's written a book on Perryville, Kentucky, and as well a book on weather and how weather impacted the armies and the fighting during the Civil War. And that's what he'll be talking about during his keynote, the impact of weather on the war, specifically focusing on the battles that took place in this area, Spotsylvania, the Wilderness, Chancellorsville, Fredericksburg. As the fighting at the Bloody Angle happened in the middle of, a heavy rainstorm and took place, for 24 hours. Weather had this huge impact, on the battle, on the fighting, and on the aftermath. Sunday morning, we're meet for breakfast at Stevenson Ridge, where Emerging Civil War also holds their symposium. And our speaker Saturday morning is the historian Brian Steele Wills. A great guy. I met him personally last year at the Emerging Civil War Symposium. He'll be talking about his book about non-combat deaths in the Civil War. And no, you might not think about this, but more soldiers died from non-combat related reasons than from combat during the war. So that'll be the Sunday morning presentation with a great breakfast brunch style meal served up by the folks at Stevenson Ridge. Day will get done about noon on that Sunday. Things start at buses depart the CVBT offices Friday and Saturday morning each at 9 a.m. Friday is a half-day program. So you have the afternoon on Friday to explore that area and its battlefields on your own, and have Friday night to yourself to explore the city. So it's a great event. We still have some tickets left. Ticket sales will close on Tuesday. And not only do we have tickets still available for the entire weekend, which is $375, we also have tickets just for the Saturday night banquet and keynote event with Ken No. And you can find out all about that at our website, CVBT.org. If I can take a minute and plug what we're currently working on
Yes,
as
please
well.
do. Yeah, go for it.
Earlier this summer, we bought a 7.2 acre parcel of land as part of the Spotsylvania battlefield on the historic Brock Road. It's known as the 3rd Massachusetts Light Artillery Track. On the first day of the battle on May 8th, 1864, as the Army of the Potomac moved forward towards the area of Spindle Field, the 3rd Massachusetts Light Artillery was with the leading elements of the Army. As the Confederates, attacked there on May 8th, the 3rd Massachusetts Light Artillery was forced back, and they moved about a half mile down the road, back towards the main body of the Army, and took a position on a small knoll overlooking this stream that feeds into the Po River. And they dug in there, and that became their position for the next day. We were able to acquire that piece of land. It's completely undeveloped, and it's chock full of artillery lunettes. When we were approached by the landowner about it in the spring, I took Chris Mikowski out there with me to walk the land, and we found over a dozen artillery lunettes on the property that are all in immaculate condition. And we weren't on that piece of ground more than 5 minutes when Chris turned to me and said, write the check right now. This needs to be saved. And you can find out about that as well at our website, cvbt.org.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. And so, the proceeds from the conference, there's a lot of that. Does all of that go towards the preservation side of things, Terry?
Yes. The monies we make from the conference, over the cost of putting it on, are all invested right back into historic land preservation. It's because of, our donors, our members. They're the ones saving the land. I'm just the tool that they use with their donations to actually do the work of filling out the documents, applying for the grants, putting the easement on it. But all of this is only possible because of the financial support of our contributors, including the monies we make from the conference.
Excellent. That's a reason in its own, isn't it? And not only are you going to go to these historic places, you're also going to be helping and contributing to save these places. So Terry Rensel, thank you very much for coming on and telling us about your conference.
Darren, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate the fact that you took time out to have me on with you today.
Cheers. And we'll see you online and on the battlefield.